Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. Welcome to a special council meeting on Wednesday, August 24, 2016. Go ahead with roll call, please.
Councilmember Barnes, Reed, Brown,
Here.
Decker, Kraus,
Here.
French,
Here.
and Mayor Domingo.
Here, thank you. Citizens' comments. Person addressing the city council shall limit their comments to agenda items only and to no more than 5 minutes. Proper decorum is required. Are there any citizens' comments on the agenda this evening? I don't know. I guess I won't know until you tell me what your comment is.
Which comment?
This is on the agenda items.
Correct. Item D on the agenda, please.
D,
Yes.
okay.
I just want to, as a citizen, I'm Eric Tobin. I live at 409 West Ash. Also happen to work in the city in the utility billing. And just wanted to make comments on this particular one because both myself and Tom Mead both feel that this is detrimental to the forward moving of our utility billing process, because by making an exception here to the ordinances which the council has approved, you're actually breaking those, and it opens it up for everybody to go against that, to challenge it here. And we're talking, you guys tax certified this 3 times, this property, so it's gone in front of the council 3 times. You know, I'm big time in favor of trying to make it fair for everyone, and that's how I take a look at the ordinances and we apply our policy and the way that we do things downstairs in accordance with the ordinance that this council has set forward. And it's been brought to my attention several times that we break those ordinances multiple times, and I'm talking every single month downstairs. And I've brought that to the management's attention, and I've been asked to bring it before you guys so that you guys can take a look at that. And this is an example of that. Second of all, the resolution as written is incorrect. I don't know where the dollar amount, neither does Tom Mead, your treasurer, know where the $563.12 portion of the resolution came from, because the total balance that's outstanding both to the county and to the city is a total of $1,719.84. So if it's the intention to just write off $110 of that, then say that instead of putting those particular dollar amounts in there. Because if you put the dollar amounts in there as this is written, you're telling, and the attached, as you had in your packet, the attached spreadsheet that you have on there that would go, and has already gone, under my understanding, to the Calhoun County Treasurer's Office, is suggesting that she is to change the dollar amounts on 2014, 2015, and then downstairs we'd have Tom Mead adjust 2016 to reflect those dollar amounts on the bottom of that thing. If that is true, then you're writing off over $1,100, at least $1,100, and not to mention that you're going to be writing off an additional $400 and some dollars downstairs on us. Now, me as a tax-paying citizen, I'd be like, if you're writing this bill off for one person, why can't you write it off for everybody? If there's reasons for that write-off, then we have to see where we violated the ordinance, where we went against the ordinance. Because if you guys have a copy of your ordinance, and if you want it, we can provide you, obviously, with it downstairs. It says that no free service will be provided to any individual. It says that if you're late, you have a 10%. That's what you guys, the council, have established for us to operate downstairs, okay? And if it's shut off, you have to pay your entire fees plus the late fee or plus the shut-off fee in order to get your water turned back on. Every single time we violate this, and this would be an example of doing that, that opens us up for more liability, in my opinion, for the city, not to mention if we're writing off fees, and expenses, that's money that can be used for the city, and it's my understanding that the water last year had to take from the general fund. And if that's the case scenario, this is one of the problems. Past practice made this happen a lot, and I'm bringing it forward to you in this If you want to see the tax, here's their tax bill right here for Double Vision that's over at the county. It says right now that their balance is $1,768.91 if paid by August 31st. So I just wanted you to be aware that if you vote yes on that, and again, I and Tom Mead both strongly urge that you vote no on that resolution. Thank you.
Is Tom here tonight?
I don't see him.
Okay. Are there any other comments on the agenda tonight? Seeing none, we will move on. Items for individual discussion. A, we would, I can't do it, so can't table it.
Council members' comment?
Pardon?
No council members' comments? Yeah.
Pardon?
Is there a reason why there were no council members' comments on
This is a special
Okay.
meeting. That's why we didn't have the other two items on there as well. We normally don't do that during a special meeting, so. The Consumers Powers, Cheryl and myself met with them this morning, and they were in agreement to have me, believe it or not, have me put the wording into an understanding way, so I am working on that at this time. We would like to, if I can get it finalized between now and the next council meeting for approval, everybody will get a copy of that. I'm working on that now. So I would like to have somebody, if we could, table this, please.
I move that we table this resolution until next council meeting, which would be the 6th of September.
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? What?
You heard one voice loud.
I guess. Go ahead.
Can I add something to the agenda in lieu of the fact that we're changing the agenda just by tabling that resolution? Is that all right?
Is that proper procedure? I guess I would have to ask before.
You have to make a motion.
Yeah.
You have
Okay.
to second it and then vote on it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said, he asked how you add an
Well-
agenda item, and what council member would have to make a motion, which would then have to be seconded and voted upon.
Okay.
So I would move that we add something to our agenda this evening. That motion as reads I'd like to add to the agenda a motion to accept the evaluations from executive session that we will be presented to at executive session this evening.
So move, or support.
I'm done.
To accept the evaluations?
To accept the evaluations as presented this evening. I think we need to move forward if we're gonna start working on contract language and evaluation. The idea is that we have an executive session this evening,
Correct, I understand.
and so I just wanna be able to make sure that we accomplish something tonight and that we try to get what we need to get done tonight.
Usually the numbers and comments on the things, those are released, so I think I agree that we should probably just approve and make that official, so that's why I second.
Well, I think that what I would like to have is a conversation about this motion and make that motion a public event. That's all.
Yes.
I'm trying to be transparent, and so I've been asked to make that motion, I'm making that motion.
Okay. I would think that's a little out of character when the city manager has already requested an executive session.
Okay.
I can,
We can vote it down.
maybe,
That's fine.
okay, maybe that's what you need to do then, but,
I just have I'm unclear as to what it is that we want to do. We haven't, because we haven't even looked at those yet. So
Correct.
I hate-
That's true.
I guess my concern is that if we release that too soon,
Right.
And you get into the executive session.
yeah, that.
Okay. It could be,
But I understand what you, I mean, I understand what you want to do. I think we're gonna move into executive session. Has the person, I guess my question is, has the personnel committee met and looked at those evaluations yet
no.
We don't have a labor
Don't have-
standing
we don't have-
committee,
we don't have-
labor committee anymore.
anymore? Okay.
Right. Go ahead and vote on that, and then,
yeah,
I don't
I think-
want to interrupt the procedure. I've never heard of this procedure for one.
Well, Mayor and Council, this arises because the opportunity to have the discussion of the evaluations and future contract negotiations is my call. So I am the one that asked for the executive session.
Correct.
However, you do need to take some action in regards to the evaluations to accept them, because normally you publish them. So it was actually my suggestion that there be a item added to the agenda to officially accept the scores on the evaluation, so that you'll have a motion in your public session after the executive session
Okay.
relative to accepting those recommendations.
No, thank you, because that clarified that for me.
And so that would be after the executive session?
Right.
So, okay.
Okay, so where are we going back to what we have open?
Right, and the
No.
motion, and I've made a motion to change the agenda by adding a item, 7A.
BG. Oh, you're right.
Or, sorry,
You're right.
so, yeah, executive session is 6, so 7 would be a motion to accept evaluations,
That moves to
and
eight.
then 7, the adjournment becomes 8,
Okay, so we're talking about after the executive.
after the executive
Okay,
session.
that's where I was
Oh,
confused.
okay.
I'm sorry, I was not,
Okay, now that makes it clear.
I'm sorry, Joe. I apologize.
Okay,
I
all
wasn't
right.
clear.
Okay. So that information will come after the executive
Exactly.
session this evening when we come back to
Right.
the regular council meeting.
Right,
Okay, yes. So now,
I'm sorry, I was
has it been
yeah,
moved and separate, or moved and seconded?
Yes.
Now, do you want that on a roll call?
Yeah.
probably should. Yes.
Councilmember Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
and Mayor Domingo.
Yes, that's fine. Okay.
Sorry, I apologize, I was not clear.
Okay. Let me back up. Okay. Request approval resolution 2016-58. City Council approved the authority for a comprehensive master plan.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions?
I just have a comment.
Okay.
I want to thank the consultant Rosalind for helping with that process. I would also like to commend the Build Albion AmeriCorps Vista team that was brought in and provided some input to this master plan, as well as all the citizens of Albion who participated, provided input and feedback to the city and their consultants to help arrive at this comprehensive master plan. I think it's a great thing, and I encourage everyone, every citizen in the city of Albion to read this comprehensive master plan, to provide input to this master plan. If we accept this resolution today, we have 96, 95 days of public comment. So throughout the fall, you'll be given opportunity to provide that comment to us as we move forward on this master plan. This master plan will help us as a city move forward in areas where we see the greatest need to set priorities for not only budgeting and expenditures, but also of envisioning what Albion will be like in the future. So I thank all that participated. Kudos to our city manager and to our mayor and to the folks who participated in that process.
Colin?
I just wanted to make sure the council was clear, the resolution that we're passing, that's before you tonight is, it just gives the council the final approval on the master plan. Right now, without the resolution, the approval process stops with the planning commission. The statute though allows the council to have the final say, and that's what this resolution does.
And moves us into the 95-day window. That has to be corrected, am I correct? Okay. Okay. Garrett, did you have a question, or were you just pointing out that?
No, I had a question, or a comment. There's gonna
Okay.
be, there's gonna be,
Yes.
a series of community, you probably can explain it better.
Yes, we're planning a series of essentially town hall meetings to discuss the, what's contents of the plan, as well as especially to elicit comments and the visions from the residents in regards to what they want to see in the city going forward. Right now, we're planning a series of at least 4 of them. Following those where we get the input from the residents, we'll also have a session to talk about how they are being incorporated to this draft document before it's presented to the Planning Commission and then to the City Council for final adoption. And this is only phase 1.
Yes.
Could we repeat, the number of days so that everyone is clear as to how many days they have to comment on this, because it is kind of a long period.
The public hearing and the
Yes.
close of the comment period will be November 28th.
Thank you.
Okay. If there are no further questions, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Brown,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Reed, and Mayor Domingo.
Yes. And thank you very much, Robin. C, discuss the approval and release Phase 1 of the comprehensive plan for public comment.
So moved.
Support.
Moved and supported. Are there questions on that, which is basically the same as what we just did? We're just gonna do it twice because we had to fill the page out. No, okay. If there are no questions, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
and Mayor Domingo.
Yes. D, request approval of Resolution 2016-59 to amend and correct the information that was sent over to the county to be applied to the property taxes for double vision.
Mayor and Council, if I could have an opportunity to address this issue since there was a public comment. First, I do want to state that I would have preferred that if the director of the finance department had comments, that he would say them himself and not a representative. I don't know that that is in fact the case, so it would have been more appropriate to simply state his own personal views. What we had was a situation that was totally unusual. Going back several years, there was quite apparently a miscommunication between the city administration and the owners of Double Vision. I had met with Mr. Brewer on a number of occasions trying to get to the bottom of it. I spent several hours compiling years of bills relative to this property. It became clear that there had been an error probably on the part of the city. This was not eliminating a bill that was rightfully earned. What was clear was that they were being billed for water and sewer bills during a period of time which they weren't using the water and the building wasn't occupiable. They did not have a permit, an occupancy permit. There had been discussions in regards to removing the meter so they didn't accumulate these charges. However, in those discussions, apparently with the mayor at that time and with other city staff people, that information did not get to the staff to actually remove the meter. So it seemed only appropriate to rectify the situation and the excessive charges that have accumulated on this bill so that the individuals could be charged appropriately. The charges for the actual usage of the water are still in the bill. The sidewalk assessments are still in the bill. The mayor was in the meeting, as well as Mr. Brewer, as well as Ms. Lawler. In regards to this discussion, we felt it was only fair and appropriate to remove those additional charges and fees associated with it because there was no indication that they should have been charged that in the first place. Now, I had a meeting as late as today with Mr. Mead, our finance director, in regards to these amounts. So I would differ that he is of the opinion that it's inappropriate. Obviously, this was a conversation that was above the pay grade of the individual who spoke. Nonetheless, I will stand by these numbers that we are presenting to you because it's only the fair thing to do. This has gone on for years, and we're trying to rectify the ills of the past.
So moved.
Support.
And to help with that is that, yes, I was in the meeting with Cheryl and myself and the other two individuals. And because this is being brought tonight, which I appreciate Eric standing forward and bringing us the correct procedures for doing such a thing. But in light of this one here, because it expanded over 3 city managers, this has been going on. There were no corrections made. I looked at the file. Cheryl brought me the thing. Cheryl and I had talked about this prior to going into that. And this was the best that we could do for everybody. They're not getting off scot-free. They're not gonna pay the total bill. The city's not gonna pay this was, like Cheryl said, the right thing to do because of the time frame that we had to do. But in light of what Eric brought to the attention of the council this evening, please keep that in mind, that we have procedures that we need to follow. Those procedures need to be brought to the council as they were this evening. And we have to start someplace by making these correct. But we can't fall back on things that we haven't made right before. So after tonight's meeting, I think Cheryl will go back and make the corrections to our policies, because I know there's things that all city managers and other payable clerks and things that, through the years, that we have done. So I stand behind Cheryl because of what we did, we thought was the proper, right thing to do. Nobody's getting off for free with nothing. They are going to pay something, so I don't take it as they just got their hands slapped and said, oh, excuse me, that wasn't the case here. So in defense of Cheryl, we thought we were doing the right thing, and to this day, I still think we've done the right thing. And hopefully from this point on, we'll take the lesson that Eric brought forward to us and we start following our procedures so it's good. Water bills are probably one of the hardest things that we have as a city to get paid. Thank goodness it's only water and sewer. It's not gas or electricity that they have to go through, but we do write off a large amount. And so it's not just Double Vision that this is done to. We just done this a month ago for like $30-some thousand worth, which in turn goes to the county. We go through a process. Very seldom do we ever get the money back. So if we can, from this moment forward, let's see what we can do about following the regulations as far as we can do so. Garrett, is your hand up?
So just for public clarification, during the period of time that the meter was there, water was not being used?
Correct.
Okay.
Cheryl put it in the short
It's in the
version.
chart.
Yeah,
And I really don't want to be here all night to explain the whole version of what this took place over, I do believe, 5 years. We went back to 2011, if I'm not mistaken.
And the
Okay?
fee-
So, I mean, there was a lot of in and out.
And the fee was to have the meter in place, right?
The fees that accumulated
Yeah.
post, I think it's 2011, were simply related to having meters in place. There was no actual usage.
Okay.
Nonetheless, the water and the sewer flat rate continued to accumulate along with late fees.
Okay.
As they were trying to work that out, because they had requested the meter to be removed. However, it's not actually located in their building. There was a number of circumstances that were extenuating that led up to this situation. So this seemed to be the only fair and reasonable thing to do, because clearly they weren't using the water. So why would you keep a meter accumulating fees if you weren't going to use it?
Okay. And they weren't occupying the building?
And they can't occupy it.
Okay. But they weren't during that time?
Right.
Correct.
Okay.
And I would also like to add that in regards to acting outside of the ordinance does allow for payment arrangements. And we have made payment arrangements in extenuating circumstances. And the most recent, in fact, was a single mother with children who was able to pay the water bill. However, she couldn't pay the additional $50 for the shut-off fee. So would it make sense to shut her off or to allow her the 2 weeks to pay the $50? Because if the water were shut off, then she can't occupy her home. So yes, there have been extenuating circumstances. We don't do it for any situation just because you know, it's inconvenient, but we try to be fair and reasonable, and we have already talked with our attorney in regard to trying to get some language so we can be more specific and consistent in how we apply the policy, so that will go forward.
Yeah, I think that'd be good.
Mayor,
Yes.
I was just gonna add, that I was also present for the meeting, and my take on it was, you know, as the mayor and our manager said that since the charges weren't supposed to have been incurred in the first place, you know, I don't think we're in violation of our ordinance by removing those charges that were wrongfully incurred. I don't think we're giving free service. We're just we're amending the bill to reflect what it should have been in the first place.
Okay. If there's no more, could we have a roll call vote, please?
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm just looking at this chart, and I think I'm in full support of this. There's a note here, sewer shut-off in 2013, and then everything after that, there's no water sewer usage, and there's
Correct.
all these fees, the base is on there. So I totally get it.
I'm sorry.
So I think that's, yeah, I'm good with it. Thank you for being clear.
Just,
Okay.
I know it's passed, but is there a reason why, because I know in other properties that we've had to do, who have not paid, we'll go and remove the meter. So I mean, was that just what happened?
Whatever happened, the meter wasn't removed.
Yeah, okay.
Clearly, it should have been removed.
Yeah, okay.
What happened several years ago that it wasn't, I can't
Okay.
respond to. We're just trying to fix it.
Okay.
There was a breakdown in communication.
So-
Yes.
So what we're trying to do then is to correct a mistake that was made multiple years ago.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Okay. If there are no more questions, roll call vote, please.
Councilmember Kraus,
Yes.
French,
Yes.
Reed, Brown,
Yes.
and Mayor Domingo.
Yes, thank you. Request approval to extend the city manager's contract for 30 days until October 2nd of 2016.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. Are there any questions? I think everybody understood the reason. Okay. Roll call vote, please.
Councilmember French,
Yes.
Reed,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Kraus,
Yes.
and Mayor Domingo.
Yes. F, motion to excuse absent council member Barnes this evening.
So moved.
Moved and supported.
Decker
Oh,
also.
I'm sorry. Jesus. Where are my eyes to, and, Ms. Decker, please.
Does it matter
I'm
if she
sorry.
comes in?
Pardon? Pardon?
I was thinking, I think she had sent a note.
She's working, yeah.
Yes.
We've heard from Councilwoman
Right.
Decker.
Yes.
Have we heard anything from Barnes?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, he called.
Okay, great.
My mistake for missing Becky, I'm sorry. So anyway, if there are no further questions, excusing Barnes and Decker, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed the same. The two are excused. Citizens' comments, person addressing the city council shall limit their comments to no more than 5 minutes. Proper decorum is required. Are there any citizens' comments this evening? If not, we'll go into our executive session.
I'd like to readdress that matter. First of all, the
I'm
ordinance.
sorry, Eric, but you have to do your name and your
I'm
address,
sorry,
please.
apologize. Eric Tobin, 409 West Ash.
Thank you.
The ordinance says that you can make payment arrangements within 30 days, or within 60 days total of the time that the bill was billed. So at the time of shut-off, that is the 60-day mark. So after that, as the ordinance says, there is no payment arrangements made. That's what your ordinance says. So, second of all, during the time that I was on the double vision incident here, I was never notified of having the meter removed, nor was the 300 other customers that you have. Most of the bills that you send over through the tax structure that go onto the taxes are your base fees. That's supposed to be 50 to 60% of your revenue. So if you waive those because the meter is in place, that's why the charge is there, which is what you just did, then, what are you left with? You're losing 50 to 60% of your revenue. I don't want to have my base charges. Can I? And I think that anybody in the room would want to have their base charges waived because their meter's in place. So that's what just happened. So You know, it was my understanding, and it was told to me that it was just gonna be $110, not $1,200, you know? So again, the resolution itself was worded incorrectly, so I can't believe that that passed. So, I don't know, we got a lot of stuff, we've got a lot of work to do on those ordinances, and come September 13th, you know, we have we send out over 300 shut-off notices. Of those, we send out about 200 door hangers, where our guys physically go to the property and put door hangers on the property, letting you know that your water bill is going to be shut off. And we end up getting it down to 20. So that's how many we shut off. Of those 20, they've had the opportunity to make payment arrangements by 5 o'clock on the day of shut off. Okay? So when they have to pay their thing, we're not talking about people that it's a one-time shot and they messed up one time. We're talking about repeat offenders, people who are on this list continuously. Okay? And I give documentation to management about that so that they can make an accurate decision. So it's not that, oh, this person has 8 kids. There were 4 other people that came in that morning that had similar circumstances, any number of which could be considered extenuating circumstances that would provide them. If that was the case, we would never shut anybody off. And if that's the case, then we might as well eliminate the entire shut-off process and just go to that water is a right and not a. So, I mean that's what you're getting at. So you guys passed an ordinance that said it's $50 or $24 for water base and sewer base. If you don't want that, then don't make it part of the ordinance or change it. Okay, that's my issue. Is that it's not everything's not being applied fairly to everybody, and we need to do that because it doesn't make our job downstairs any easier, and we're on your front line. We're talking to these people face to face. 5 minutes. Am I over?
Anyway.
I didn't know I was supposed to be interrupted, sorry, thanks.
Good evening, Shane Williamson, 1210 Burn Street. I actually feel really funny. I've never addressed the council before, so excuse me if I stutter just a little bit. First, I'd like to say thank you to all of our public servants, including our frontline staff at the city. I also came specifically to speak on the contract for Cheryl Mitchell and our city manager. I want to make sure I encourage the council to continue that process and to hopefully come to a full renewal and hopefully some reward for the hard work that Cheryl Mitchell has done. And something that was brought to my attention this evening just by sitting in the audience is what a tough job Cheryl has. Clearly, there are some HR issues downstairs with having a finance director show up this evening and bring some of the office drama to a city council meeting. So I just want to commend her extraordinary job in handling those issues. I want to thank all of you for extending your contract for 30 days and considering a timeline of renewal. And thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mike Behrman, 11016 29 Mile Road, Albion. I really wanted to say I heard something tonight that I really was impressed with and I really like, and I like to hear it. And that's when the mayor says, I'm behind you, city manager, for what you're doing. We need to do that. We need to thank people. We need to thank all the people on the board for working together and working towards a common goal. But I did miss something tonight, and that's when we didn't have the Pledge of Allegiance. I was really surprised.
My apologies. We could stand and do that if you would like. And I'm not being a smart ass. This is a special council meeting. Normally they're not this long and we don't normally do that. But I apologize for that. And from now on our special meetings, we will, at least no less, have the Pledge of Allegiance. So, are there any more comments tonight? If there is, please step forward with your name and address.
Hello, my name is Shauna Gamble and my address is 618 North Ann Street. I just wanted to introduce myself to those of you who don't know me. Hello, and let everyone know that I'm actually running for school board for the new Marshall Public Schools District. So I just wanted to say hello. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, and one more thing. Why don't we just do the Pledge of Allegiance now?
We can do that.
Can we do that?
Would you
Is
like
that
to,
legal?
would you like to do that now? All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay. If there is no more, I will ask for a adjournment to the, oh, I'm sorry.
Marcola Lawler, 918 North Berrien Street. I just want to start off by saying thank you to the city for removing part of the tree that was in my front yard that was possibly going into my roof. I thank you for that. The second thing that I would like to say is that I am hoping to see Cheryl around in the next couple years. I serve on 2 boards with her. She is a person that is very approachable on any level, with any language, high language, language we use at home. She's capable of all of that. She has been a person to where if I get stuck with something, she jumps right in and she automatically knows what I need to say. So I thank Cheryl for that. I'm hoping to work with her within the next couple months as I am running for the 4th Precinct Councilwoman. And one last thing, if you are renewed to the position, I'm not sure what is in the comprehensive plan, but I would like to get together with you about the public parks over in the Lincolnshire area and the baseball field over the Tillman Cornelius baseball field and that park right there, just so that those children can have somewhere to go. They don't have to travel outside of their neighborhood to come all the way to I'll just say it, West Ward. That's what I know it by, but those areas are target areas that I'm concerned about, and I hope to work with you on those areas. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ron Rice, 910 Irwin Avenue, street everybody loves. I just wanted to make a comment. I serve on the ZBA, and Holly is our chair. Holly Zablitsky is our chair, and a couple of times she hasn't been here, and since I'm co-chair, I've had to do it. Cheryl has been a big help to me, believe me. When you've not done it before, no matter how many you set through, it's not the same when you're up there in front. And I really appreciate all Cheryl's help. Thank you, Cheryl.
I'm Levada Weeks, 917 Luther Drive. And I believe there's a lot of people here tonight that came especially to support Cheryl. And I would like to ask if you'd all stand in unity and give Cheryl a hand.
And I appreciate all of your comments for Cheryl, but for everybody that keeps holding us up, you're holding up her contract.
Sonia Brown, 713 Orchard Drive, and Mayor Domingo. I am going to hold it up just for about 30 seconds because I couldn't sit there and not get up and say something. Cheryl and I have developed a friendship over her time being here, and we have not always agreed, but we have always respected one another, and we've always kept lines of communication open. So I just wanted to say I respect you so much, and you've been such an asset to the city. I am running for 3rd Precinct City Council seat, and I look forward to working with you.
Okay, you got me.
Okay. I would appreciate to be able to go into the executive session and get busy on Cheryl's business.
So moved. Support.
Moved and supported. All in favor, say aye. Aye. My room in less than 5 minutes. We could come back here and call this meeting to order. This is one of the rarities that we ever get the chance to come back up here and have an audience. We come to an agreement downstairs with Cheryl's evaluation. You can hear a pin drop. Ladies and gentlemen, she came out with a 4.50, which is a very good rating overall. We discussed part of her contract this evening with her wishes of what she would like to have on her next contract. We also remember we have a 30-day extension only for the betterment of running short on time right now. Next Wednesday, we have a special meeting again. We will continue negotiations with her. Excuse me, Tuesday?
Tuesday at 6:30.
Okay. On assessing, we have our assessors coming and are from the state to explain assessments for your property and stuff. So we are very well abreast of what everything came out with Cheryl. She done very well, and now it's just a process of putting her contract together for the next go-around. So we're shooting to have it approved by the 6th, but because you don't know how negotiations go, please, that's why we extended it for 30 days. So at the point of the way it is right now, she will be with us until the end of the negotiation period. We're hoping to have it settled by the 6th, but we can't make you a promise without. It's a short period of time between now and the 6th of next month. So, but we're going to do our best to do that. So, with that said, the executive session is closed downstairs. She got a 4.50, which is a very good. And I'm going to ask for an adjournment if there are no questions.
Support.
It has been moved and supported, and we thank you all very much. Roll or with a voice vote. All in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed, the same. And thank you all very much.